Okay, can you see that?
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing
Okay.
right here is a kind of outline for a world history essay. I feel like, okay, this isn't necessarily like my best piece of work. I think that's really hard to find.
Right.
Um, it definitely does showcase one of the strategies that I personally found very useful in Mr. Nguyen's class this year. So
Is this
just to
is
give
this WAP?
no, this isn't lab. This is regular world history.
This is just
Um,
regular world history. Okay.
yeah. So the way that,
Okay.
so for a bit of context, like the way that his class functioned was we would get like lectures, projects, whatever, right? Like that
Right.
kind of thing, and then we would have to do an essay about the unit. So
Okay.
this particular essay was, you can see the prompt right here. It's explaining how the Western political
Right.
philosophies of this time period impacts governance. So the strategy I went for that worked out really well. You can see here I have a couple of drafts. Um, I
Okay.
went for a more kind of
Really
narrative
small.
based writing, not to be confused with like a personal narrative type thing. It's that this is actually where I kind of got into or shifted away from like your typical paragraph structure, right? I was just like, okay,
Right.
instead of just dividing it based on like different time periods or ideas, if I went for a more like narrative based structure context, then like the changes, it would work out a lot better. And then this essay got a pretty good grade and whatnot. Outside of that, uh, it was a pretty good essay overall. Like Mr. Nguyen didn't really have that much to say about it, but um, yeah, adapting these kinds of essays and this assignment in general, the whole essay exam. Um, the biggest thing that I took away from it, especially because it was an in-class essay and I didn't have time to think about what I was doing, um, adapting your essay style to suit the class and suit the purpose of the prompt is really important. So that's one of the things that like one of the best kind of pieces of advice I could probably give in terms of essays.
And so in the case of this essay, instead of going for like the traditional 5 paragraph essay that we learn in most English classes, you kind of did a you kind of shifted that for the history topic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And that was beneficial.
yeah.
Okay.
So like yeah. So this is basically intro paragraph. This entire paragraph is mostly context because it's a
Yeah.
really easy way to set up the changes that follow, and also introduce, like I tried, the topic. In this case, the conflict between the American colonies and the British. Um, and then from there, you can go really easily into what kind of mindset.
But no, I think I understand what you're saying. It's like kind of moving logically between ideas with the setup and then
Yeah.
going into the main chunk of your writing. Yeah.
hmm Because I think one of the most important parts about a prompt like this one, explain how X, Y, and Z might have had an impact on like whatever. I think it's important that we spend some time to
Yeah.
kind of set up the rest of the essay, right? If we provide the
Right.
underlying conditions, then it becomes really easy to shift into the answering the prompt.
So it's like exposition basically set up to use a more creative writing uh, word, I guess.
Yeah, going for a kind of expository approach to an argumentative essay is like it works.
And so it's kind of I guess you're blending those
Yeah.
two. You're blending between expository and then you're using that to make your case.
hmm
So you said you got a good essay. No, no,
Well, yeah, my
a
essays
good
have
grade on
consistently
that,
scored pretty
right?
highly.
So even though that's a more kind of unconventional way of structuring the essay, it was still successful for you in the end.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
hmm
And I see you've got another essay
It's
here.
not. It's actually, interestingly enough, this isn't an essay. This is one of my lab reports for physics. One of the big things, I don't have the rubric on me, but being concise, right? So you can see here,
Yeah,
I don't have any words or
it's
extra words.
very
Yeah.
Straight, right to the
Yeah.
point. Right to the point.
So it like in years past, I would kind of be rather verbose with my essays, and include a lot of filler words that I didn't need. I feel like these labs were a good way to kind of help me shorten and get to the point, which also helps with clarity and
Yeah.
flow. I think it's interesting though. This method of writing, while it can be more effective in getting your point across, if you're going for a more kind of I don't really know how to describe it. Like it's not necessarily being creative, but it's like conveying emotion. This definitely
Mm-hmm.
isn't the way you want to go. But for the purpose of my kind of writing, it does
I
work.
think yeah. I think I know what you're saying is that this kind of concise writing is more effective when it comes to kind of objective subjects, like you have physics here, or you could also have math maybe.
Yeah.
And when you just want to get like the facts, then that kind of conciseness is good. But then as opposed to more subthings like English or history, then you're going to have to use more description and things like that. So that's still again changing the strategy to account for what subject it is.
Yep.
So anything else you want to tell us about these examples?
I add these kind of extra questions or like commands so that I know it serves as a reminder to like not just what I want to write about in the paragraph, but it also like reminds me to go back and make sure that it fits in with the prompt. Otherwise, this kind of essay can be dangerous in that it can just become a purely expository essay where I'm just explaining what the revolution was and then maybe how it turned out. But then I might leave out the connection between the revolution itself and everything else in my essay, which includes the response to the prompt.
And so that's where you get an advantage from blending the expository and the argumentative.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for those writing examples. Yeah, we do have a little bit of time left before I feel like my computer will completely die. So, looking forward to next year, what are some goals that you have for next year? What do you want to do and improve on and stuff?
Two things: consistency and coverage. I think we addressed both of those. We have a more kind of structured roadmap, but
yeah,
unlike last year where we kind of tried to plan out the material itself, we're going for more different topics and the different kind of areas that we want to cover. So not like specific instructional material, but mainly topics that can actually like go into more discussion and more kind of writing based activities, right? So
yeah.
As for consistency, I think it's important that clubs have regular meetings. Last year we had once every 2 weeks, which I guess was okay, but the problem is if you miss one meeting, like then it's an entire month before you get back, right? So yeah, we're having our new meetings like weekly on Wednesdays, and then every other Friday. That way you'll be able to kind of actively engage consistently, even if you miss out on like one or two meetings.
And what exactly do we have planned for every other Friday of the month?
So I think one of the problems with the workshops were that's a spoiler right there, workshops. But one of the problems with workshops is that since they weren't a part of our regular meetings, we kind of had to work them in as we went along. Now these meetings are going to be like specifically for workshops, so that's what we have there. In that hour-long window, we're going to be introducing whatever new topics that we want to go into. Maybe showing you guys some different works from either ourselves or other authors. And then in the following meetings, we'll be having like discussions or activities, prompts, contests based on that.
And can you talk a little more about specifically what I think I'm going to put up the roadmap right now. What are we planning for first semester of next year?
So first semester, we have quite a few topics. I'm not sure returning members might remember that last year we yeah, sophomore year we did one workshop on, I think it was character development. Jensen then introduced this kind of triangle of writing topics, which include world building, plot, and character.
Yeah.
So we're planning to cover the other two at some point, world building and plot. And then we can also go into a lot of other different areas, specifically maybe script writing, horror and mystery for the month of October, poetry, dialogue, Shakespeare, and again poetry. And then there
And
are a
those
lot
are
of
all
other
coming
areas.
next year.
Yeah, there are a lot of other areas that we can branch out to that we're planning to.
Right. And then one more thing, I think I'm going to highlight this with the roadmap right now. For October, we have something called a theme month. Can you elaborate on it a little more?
So usually with our workshops and the subsequent meetings, we would have maybe one or two workshops dedicated to like one topic or one genre, and then we would just have the following workshops be like the discussions for that or the activities for that topic, right? For October, since it's October, Spooktober, whatever. The theme month is the idea that for those workshops and all of the meetings in October, we're gonna have activities and discussions specifically pertaining to authors and like and writing forms that have to do with with horror or mystery.
And we're also going to be running a writing contest during that theme month. So stuff to look forward to. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Good talk, man.
I look forward to next year. I think we have some pretty cool plans.
All right. See you.
Yep. See ya.